Howdy folks. Today I'm going to be changing out 3 exterior doors and a carport. They were actually hollow core interior doors, but we're changing them to solid core doors, and I'll show you the process. Alright, so this is one of the doors. You can see at the bottom it's all rotten. It's been getting wet. They apparently have some flooding that happens in this carport area, so it gets wet. The threshold is 3/4 inch plywood, and then it's a threshold on top of that. That's ruined, so we're going to change the threshold. We're going to change the door. These are older doors. This home was built in the 50s. They have the old square hinges with flat head screws, or flat slotted bit. So we're going to change that one. Then we have this one here also. This door is pretty well shot. We're going to change this one as well. We're going to change the hardware over from the old doors to the new doors. The third one is around the corner, and it's right there. So we'll go ahead and get these. First, I'm going to take these old doors off. I've got the new doors on the truck. Okay, so I got the first door off, and I'm taking the threshold out. It's pretty rotten, you can see. I'm not really sure why they put the 3/4 inch plywood there. It probably was pressure treated, and then they siliconed it down and then put the threshold metal on top of it. I don't really like that way, so I'm going to clean it up, put the door on first, then we'll put the threshold in and secure it differently. I didn't get to film much the other day. I got interrupted in work and I couldn't film, but today I'm back at it with these 3 doors I'm hanging in the carport area of a customer's home, and I'll just kind of show you how far I've gotten. Quite a ways, but I'll show you where I'm at and where we're going to pick up. Okay, so the first door is done. I've installed the door. Had to trim it widthwise, to fit, and also I had to trim the height of it, so I trimmed the bottom and also installed a new threshold here. So it was a little bit tricky. The width isn't too much of a problem. You can measure that. I went off from the old door and measured the door opening and was able to get that measured out, and then cut the hinges. I've got a router and I just marked where the old hinges were and I cut them in the new door. I thought I was going to have to put a third hinge because this is a solid door. The existing door that was here was a hollow core door, and this door is a lot heavier, so I thought I was going to have to put a third hinge, but it looks like we're fine without it. And then of course the customer wanted me to put the old hardware back on. I will be painting the door and the door frame, but this one's done. So kind of show you. It's got a nice look to it. This was the old door. These are the old doors right here, and they were pretty well shot, especially at the bottoms. You could see those were just shot. So now I'll show you where I'm at. I'm doing the second door. I've already measured for the door, measured the opening. Okay, so I measured across the width at the bottom and at the top and also in the middle, just to see where I'm at. I'm pretty square on this door. That door was not square. That was actually a good bit narrower on the top, I believe it was. This one's pretty square. The old threshold was rotten and shot, so I installed a new one. I did this first before I'm installing the door with the height, because I measured from basically the threshold rubber. Okay, I measured from that right there to the top of the door frame up here on both sides and in the middle. This way I can get a kind of good gauge for where I'm supposed to cut the door at the bottom. And then I'm also measuring from the hinge, basically from this spot of the hinge to the rubber on the threshold, because I don't want to cut too much off. So I've measured from this spot on the hinge, and basically going to be taking about a 1/4 inch off roughly. The width again is already trimmed. I've already got the width trimmed. I've just done a rough circle of where the old doorknob hole was based on the old door. But I've got a little jig to drill those holes in a little bit. So right now, I measured this and I've got 79.5 from the top of the door. I got 79 and basically a half without this piece of metal in the way. We're lined up, and that's going to be square. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I've got this piece of metal here that I'm using as a guide for my circular saw, just so I can cut a nice straight line. I'll cut that, and then I'll hang the door, and hopefully it'll fit nice and square. And after that, I'll go ahead and drill the hole for the doorknob. All right. Hi guys, try to catch up here. Today is Thursday. That last bit you saw was Wednesday. I was at that location for about 6 hours, and I was able to get all the doors hung and all the hardware switched over, and those are all in pretty good shape. All the thresholds are installed. The one door that's on the far side, I'm gonna have to trim probably 1/8 of an inch off the bottom, because as I close the door, it's trying to lift the rubber of the threshold. It's trying to pull it out of the threshold. It's a little too tight, so I'll trim that. But that's all I've got left of the actual physical work of the doors. Now I just need to paint. So hopefully the next time I go back over there, I'll be able to paint and take some video and show you guys the finished product. I'm pretty happy with the way things worked out as far as the doors. It was pretty tricky. Some of these doors on these older homes, the door frames aren't square, the doors aren't square. I did get lucky on one of the doors and it was square, the second one I did. But it's challenging. It took me a lot of time, a lot of sweat. It was 100 degrees yesterday, and I drank a whole bunch of water and electrolytes, and I sweat a lot. And I was pretty warped out. Yeah, warped out. I'm still warped out. So, but I hope you guys have a good evening, and we'll talk to you another time.